Snow White. A long time ago, in a magical land far away, lived a king and a queen in a castle on a hill.
Eu nunca joguei isto, guys. O contínuo não faz nada. É preciso carregar assim?
The king and queen were happy together for many years, but they longed for a child of their own. Finally, one winter day, their wish was answered. On a beautiful day, as snow blanketed the land outside the window, the king and queen's daughter was born, and the kingdom rejoiced. With skin as white as snow, lips as red as rubies, and hair as black as ebony, they decided to call her Snow White. Shortly after Snow White was born, the queen...
Shortly, and the whole kingdom mourned. 1 year later, the king married a new queen. The new queen was nothing like Snow White's mother. She was terribly evil and filled with jealousy. The new queen considered herself a tremendous beauty and could not bear the idea that anyone could be more beautiful than her. She kept a magical mirror in the basement of the castle, and every so often she would ask the mirror the same question. Por que não gostas do ti? Can you help the queen wipe dust from the mirror? Point at the dusty areas with the... Okay. Ok. Eu pensava que... Ok, caga nisso. Hold down the A to clear the way. Okay.
There's an awful lot of dust. Keep at it. I think I can see a reflection.
Oh, yes.
Most of the dust is gone.
Uh-huh.
Wonderful job. Now it's time to ask the mirror a question.
Mirror,
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
the queen would say. Who
Who is the fairest of us all? And every time she asked this question, the mirror would reply, "You are the fairest of them all." Que feia. Much time passed, seasons came and went, and Snow White grew from a pretty child into a beautiful young bit. Once again, the queen visited the mirror in the basement and asked the same question as she had so many times before. Mirror, mirror on the wall, the queen said, "Who's the fairest of us all?" However, this time the mirror's reply gave the queen a nasty shock. Era o Pikachu. Queen, you are fair, is it true? The mirror said, but Snow White is fairer still than you. Pam, pam, pam! Já tem 18, já leva na... The proud queen, now knowing that she was no longer the most beautiful woman in the land, was filled with envy and hate. The queen was driven mad with jealousy. She could not sleep or even eat, and so she decided to banish Snow White from the kingdom. E a outra tinha mais likes no Insta, também é importante salientar. The queen called for a huntsman and told him to take Snow White through the deep forest on the edge of the kingdom and abandon her in the neighboring lands. The huntsman let Snow White dip into the forest, but when it came time to banish her, he found that he couldn't. She was far too kind and gentle. Coração de manteiga. The huntsman said he would not banish Snow White, but that she must never return to the kingdom for as long as she lived. Snow White agreed, and this com uma bala na cona. I will go further into the forest and never come home again, she said. The huntsman left Snow White and started the long journey back to the castle. Relieved to have escaped the evil queen's plot, Snow White suddenly found herself alone and lost in the forest. She made her way through the bushes, trying to find help. Querem que eu continue? Ou já podemos ir para o próximo jogo? Eu acho que toda a gente conhece a história, não é? Ok. Ok. Can you help Snow White get through the forest? Grasp each twig with the A button on the Wii remote and release it at the edge of the screen to clear Snow White's path. Oh my god, this is so difficult. Where is the twig? I cannot understand this game. Oh my goodness. Ainda por cima tem instruções como fazer. Oh my god. That was amazing. Oh Jesus. Parece que estou a fazer um minuto a uma gaja que não se depila. Ora, com licença. Ora, este para aqui. Este para lá. It's starting to get a little easier to see. Ora, aqui. Looks like there's a clearing ahead. As the sun started to set, Snow White came across a clearing in the forest, in the middle of which stood a little house. So exhausted from running and frightened to spend the night alone in the woods, Snow White decided to enter the little home. Help Snow White by finding the door to the house. Point at the door with the Wii remote and press the A button. Oh my god. I'm not sure that I can. Ora porta. Aha! Será isto? Inside the house, Snow White's stomach started to rumble. It has been quite a while since she last sat down for a meal. Snow White is hungry. What should we point at point at the piece of food with the Wii remote and press the A to choose it. Snow White found a bowl filled with a beautiful salad and started to eat it. Before she realized it, the salad was finished and her stomach has stopped rumbling. Okay. After her meal, as a way to repay the owners, Snow White cleaned the dirty house from top to bottom and then finally fell fast asleep in a room filled with 7 tiny beds. Porquê que serão 7 pequenas... Oh meu Deus, está cada vez mais fogo. After a long day at work, 7 dwarfs make their way back to their home in the middle of the forest. Agora é que vai ser bacanão. Upon entering their home, the dwarfs were very surprised. Their normal dirty home was sparkling clean. Someone must be in the house. Bam, bam, bam. All 7 dwarfs went upstairs in search of the intruder. When they got to the bedroom, they saw Snow White fast asleep in one of the beds. É agora feliz. Não, melhor. É agora zangado. Vais ficar feliz. The 7 dwarfs need your help. Swing the... Na corner. When Snow White awoke, she introduced herself to the 7 dwarfs and told them the horrible story of how the queen tried to have her banished from the kingdom. The dwarf's heart swelled with sympathy for Snow White, and they were so taken with how wonderfully she had cleaned the house, their home, antecipei, that they decided to let her stay with them. Snow White grew to love the 7 dwarfs, and during the daytime, while they were working, Snow White prepared a delicious meal for them. Estão a ver, gajos? Estão a ver? Vamos cancelar a Snow White. Com que então as mulheres na cozinha e os homens a trabalhar. Oh, enfim, como é que isto ainda não foi banido? Eu estou farta. Farto. Porra, pá. Caralho, Sés. Can you help Snow White stir the stew she was making for dinner? Point the Wii remote at the stew and make circular motions. É o contrário? É assim? É com o A? É sem o A? Ah! Então, mas eu estou a fazer, caralho. Então, mas... That stew smells really good. Keep it up. Woo! The stew is ready. Great job. while Snow White and the seven dwarfs... Por que está aqui o Gandalf? Ate, one of the dwarfs warned her to stay hidden, or else the wicked queen would surely discover that she was alive and well. Back at the castle, the huntsman told the queen that he has banished Snow White from the kingdom. The queen was overjoyed, sure that she was the most beautiful woman in all the land once again. Mas the queen could not resist hearing the mirror's reassuring words. She ran to the basement and questioned the mirror. Once again. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? The mirror's answer was not at all what you has been expecting. Como é que é, Queen? Pá, olha, tu estás fixe, eu traçava, epá, mas pá, vou-te ser sincero, mano, das duas eu pitava mais a Branca de Neve, mano. Sou, pá, desculpa, eu sou um espelho, mas tipo, bro, é a minha cena. The queen was furious. Since the mirror could never lie, she knew that Snow White had not been banished, and that the huntsman had lied to her. Bum, bum, bum. For days, the evil queen tried to decide how to deal with Snow White. Poor Snow White, who was still living happily with the dwarfs, had no idea that she was in danger. Bum, bum, bum. Suddenly, the queen had an idea. She painted her face, put on some old torn clothes, and picked up a basket of clothing and trinkets, so she just looked like an old woman who spent her time selling perfume. Bam, bam, The queen, dressed like an old woman, made her way through the forest to the home of the dwarfs, who were busy at work while Snow White looked after the house. The queen is waiting outside the dwarf's house. Swing the wee remote up and down to knock at the door. Snow White opened the door. "Hello, old woman," she said. "How can I help you? Today, do you have something to sell?" The evil queen smiled at Snow White. "I have wonderful perfumes to sell. Very cheap. Why don't you take a look in my basket?" Bam, bam, bam. Snow White can't make up her mind. Point to a bottle of perfume with the A remote and press the A button to choose. Isto é mais girly. Snow White chose a beautiful red bottle of perfume, but the perfume was poisoned. Bum, bum, brrr. As soon as she tried on it, she fell to the floor. "Now I'm the most beautiful woman in the land," cried the evil queen as she ran off into the forest and back to her castle, where she once again asked the mirror a favorite question. Onde está a maçã? Eu também pensava que era uma maçã. Não sei. Se calhar, imaginem, eles são tão conas. Eu não sei. A Cinderela Não, a Cinderela é do sapato. Eu tenho a certeza que há uma maçã envenenada, caralho. Isto é a versão moderna, já ninguém compra maçãs. Mano, a versão moderna, sabes o que era? A versão moderna era uma app gratuita que tinhas que fazer download e que fazia phishing dos teus dados. Essa era a versão tipo 2020. Ou um esquema imperial. Ela chegava lá: Hello! Would you like to join Forex? Algo assim. Estás a ver? Não seria nunca isto. Mas pronto, tudo bem. This time the mirror's reply filled a heavy heart with joy. You, my queen, you are the fairest of them all. Tu eras ótimo para vir ler histórias à minha filhota. 500 euros. Back in the forest. Obrigado, Ana. The dwarf returned home from work and found Snow White collapsed in the doorway of their house. The dwarfs cried for days and finally decided to put beautiful Snow White in a coffin made of glass and placed it in the forest in the middle of a clearing where it will always be watched over by one of them. Isso é bocado kinky, não vou mentir. Snow White lay in the clearing as beautiful as ever, with skin as white as snow, lips as red as rubies, and hair as black as ebony. Not long afterwards, a prince found himself in the forest and stumbled upon Snow White laying in the clearing. Isto não é nada assim, caralho. Can you clear the fallen leaves of the glass so that the prince can see Snow White? Grasp each leaf with the A button on your Wii remote and release it in the edge of the screen to clear off the glass. There's someone inside! Que gênio, caralho. A sério, mano! Não tinhas percebido! Como é que é, Zé? Como é que estás? Então... There's someone inside! Oh... Estou bem também, bro. Tens que aparecer no Discord, caralho. Eu sei que é difícil. How could it be? Keep clearing! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Why? It's a beautiful girl. Tá bem, meu querido. Um abraço, és lindo. Immediately, the prince fell in love and rushed to the dwarf's house. Please, he pleaded with the dwarfs. Open the coffin so I can look at Snow White. Yeah. É mesmo isso que queres fazer. Yeah. The dwarf saw that Prince was honest and that he would... and that there was a look of love in his eyes. Two of the dwarfs led the prince back to Snow White. Isto é tão... The prince needs someone to lead him back to Snow White. Point to a pair of dwarfs. Oh man. With the Wii remote and press the A button to give him guide to the prince. Estes aqui são mais dreads. São mais motoqueiros. As they left the house, one of the dwarfs said, "Have you seen a hair prince? He's black as hell, isn't he? She truly is the most beautiful person in the whole land." The fuck? Porquê que ele fala assim? Não sei. As they reached the clearing, the dwarfs handed the key to the coffin to the prince, and they headed back to their home. Isto não faz sentido. The prince slowly walked up to Snow White. As the prince unlocked the coffin, isto é bué, a magical wind blew through the forest and swept over Snow White. Suddenly, Snow White opened her eyes. What the fuck, Snow? Okay, and saw the prince. "Where am I?" she asked. "What happened?" Então, mas isto nem sequer faz. Okay. The prince smiled at her. "That doesn't matter. You're with me now. You're safe." O gajo é das barracas, é príncipe das galinheiras, está bem? Pronto, não interessa. "Will you marry me?" What the fuck? Parece o 90 Days Fiancé. Então, mas nem sequer, what the fuck? Snow White agreed, and they were married shortly after. Can you sign this divorce document? Hold the Wii remote and click A on the signature. The evil queen was not so lucky. She lived the rest of her days staring at her magical mirror, asking the same question and getting the same reply. Mano, se isto não merece uma Wii U, guys. "Queen, you are fair. It is true," the mirror said. "But Snow White is fairer than you." And far away, Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after. The end. Eu quero aproveitar aqui uma salva de palmas. Mano, mano. Sim, senhor, mano. Sim, senhor. Vá, tudo a dormir. Upa. Pronto. Não more, please. Está descansada, não vou. Pá, desculpa, pronto, né? Foi para Dizem que eu não tenho um conteúdo, né? Adaptado a todas as idades. Por amor de Deus, mano, isto foi muito adaptada, né? Né? Claro que é. Portanto, chupa.